Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is Three Buck Theater, and I don't know about you, but I am excited for tomorrow, especially as a Star Wars fan. I'm excited for tomorrow because of the unknown nature of it. So, for those of you who aren't aware, Project Luminous is finally going to get unveiled to the world, supposedly, according to one guy who works for ABC, who apparently covers Star Wars in his free time. But his tweet about the Project Luminous reveal date was actually retweeted by someone who has Project Luminous in their Twitter bio. That's about the only confirmation we really have at this point in time. So all the trades are running saying that tomorrow is the day Project Luminous will get discussed tomorrow. So right now, that's kind of what we have to go on. Whether it's legit or not legit, I don't know. We'll find out tomorrow. But for those of you who don't know what it is, that'd actually be pretty much all of us don't know what it is. And that's okay. That's okay that we don't know what it is. But let's talk about what it might be, what it's been speculated to be. So this was originally teased as like an interconnected event back at Star Wars Celebration last year. So last April, almost a whole year ago. So like 10 months at least. And no one has known what it is. So with where Star Wars is right now, looking at the idea of Project Luminous, a lot could be coming from it, right? So let's kind of break down what it's rumored to be and then what I think it might be. So it's rumored to just be, like I said, it's an event series, meaning it's going to have novels, and this is what people are saying, novels, comic books, other forms of media tie-in to tell one big event story in the Star Wars universe, something obviously Marvel and comics have done for years. And we know that in the case of Marvel, these kind of big lead-in events can do really, really, really well, right? Think of all the buildup to Avengers Endgame. They modeled it after a comic book run, ending with the 22nd film being the big culmination of the past 10 years. Obviously, this is not going to take as long, but still they're going to be building up towards something. And so that's what I think we're going to be seeing out of this particular thing tomorrow. It's some kind of event. But is it going to be books and is it going to be comics? Well, I think that's going to be part of it, yeah. But let's be real for a second here. When it comes to where the money is, and this whole event, this whole Project Luminous is designed around trying to make money, as everything in business is around trying to make money. Comics and books aren't necessarily where it's at. I'm not saying they don't make money. I'm just saying that's not where it's at. What we can kind of start to figure is, okay, let's look to see where we are right now with Star Wars. What we know and where we are. Well, we have Mandalorian, which takes place 5 years after the events of Return of the Jedi. It is, again, a wildly popular show. Baby Yoda absolutely dominated the internet for all the weeks and beyond since that show came out 3 months ago now. 3 months ago and some change. And people have been waiting to see what next is going to come from Disney Plus in regards to Star Wars. Well, that particular time period is what a lot of people have kind of been talking about. Are we going to be spending a lot more time in the post-Return of the Jedi era? Now, I did see some speculation online about Luminous being an event that takes place in between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. But the truth of that is, that's 30 some odd years, or that's about 30 years. Right? That's a long time to run this event series. Disney needs to repair the brand of Star Wars now. So I would assume that this is probably going to tie in post Return of the Jedi, and that's probably where we're going to be spending some time. But this also could be a whole thing revolving around Mandalore. And I say that because where Disney is right now with Star Wars is a lot to do with Mandalore. Obviously, there's The Mandalorian. Well, look at Clone Wars Season 7. A lot of that has to do with Mandalore, and obviously Darth Maul having taken over the planet. What happened to that? What happened to the Great Purge? We heard about that in The Mandalorian, even though this takes place 50 years beforehand, right? So it's like we know that there's a lot going on with Mandalore right now with Disney Star Wars, and it seems to be what is driving a lot of the conversation. Now, I don't know if when they announced this, teased it back in April that they knew it was going to be as big of a thing, that they knew that The Mandalorian was going to be as big of a show as it was. But I think they had a good idea, right? If you don't greenlit 8 episodes with $100 million budget, unless you're planning on doing something with the property. So I think this is where we're going to find ourselves in the remnants of the Fallen Empire, dealing with that whole world and establishing the Mandalorian kind of as this new starting off point, right? Think of it like, how we have BBY, right? And then ABY. So it's like before the Battle of Yavin, which is basically 0 in the timeline of Star Wars. And then, after the Battle of Yavin. Well, I'm wondering if this is going to kind of be that new center ground, right? The Mandalorian is going to be the new center ground, and it's going to be everything around that character and that timeline. Now, this is all speculation. This is all theory. I have literally nothing to run on here, but I'm trying to think about it from the most synergistic way possible. What is it that Disney would do in the most synergistic way to see the biggest return on their investment with what's popular right now and what Star Wars fans want? Well, Star Wars fans ultimately want good stories, which we've been seeing apparently in the Kylo Ren comics. The comics have actually been doing okay. I think the first issue of Kylo Ren is on its 3rd printing. The second issue is on its 2nd printing. People are spending the money and they are buying these comics in the store. So that's good. A lot of the rest of us just read them digitally. So there's that too. But it could be something surrounding that as well. There was like that little tidbit that popped up about the secret Star Wars movie that's going to be developed by J.D. Dillard. And no one knows what that's about. There was a rumor and speculation that it was about Exegol. But that was just a line that the Hollywood Reporter writer put in as a frame of reference and a bit of a pun. And it was taken and run with by other people as being, this is what they're talking about. It's not. But it could be something that's going to be giving us all the backstory leading into The Force Awakens. It could be giving us everything with the First Order, with all this other stuff, as a way to lead into that. And that would be a kind of a way to kind of like fill out the canon. All things considered, it's what should have been in the movie. And I will completely agree with that. But that could be what it is. And part of me thinks it could also potentially be that something definitely involving the First Order, something definitely involving Batuu and Galaxy's Edge. And I say that because Disney dropped $1 billion for each park. So $2 billion in order to bring Star Wars Galaxy's Edge to the different parks. And I thought it was kind of weird that they were unleashing this. They were revealing this. They were putting it out there 6 months before the end of the Skywalker saga, 6 months before the inevitable end of the First Order. And they're trying to sell this as a theme park that's around the Resistance and the First Order, when there is almost like no connection to that whatsoever. You figure by the time it came out, there were 3.5 years from the from the first time we saw the First Order in The Force Awakens to the release of Galaxy's Edge. If it would have been something involving the Empire, you would have had 40 years, right? So there would have been a lot more people that would have been interested in it had it been something around the Empire and not the First Order. So I think Disney's kind of got themselves in a bit of a pickle, which could be why this project is being teased. They realize that they've got to build out the legacy and build out the lore of Galaxy's Edge. So they could be basing Project Luminous entirely around the storyline of the park, which I think is kind of a mistake, if I'm being honest with you. But they spent $1 billion on it, and I've been kind of trying to figure out why they would drop so much money on something that they were in the process of trying to end. I don't know. It's a weird thing. Again, I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about Project Luminous, talk a little bit about what I think it might be, what it could potentially be. And of course, tomorrow night, we're going to get more information. And of course, tomorrow night, I'm going to be talking about it. So be sure to stay tuned for that. And I want to hear your thoughts, your speculation, what it could be. Also, if you guys want, I could live stream when they're doing the announcements. We could talk about it live, or I could just do a video. Let me know your thoughts about that in the comments below. Anyway, I look forward to your thoughts. Look forward to your opinions. I'll talk to you all later. Have yourself a fantastic day. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. And have a good day, guys. And peace out.